Okay. Professor Dr. VJE Caroline, a fortunate individual who has had the privilege of donning a multitude of hats in this journey called life. She is counseling psychologist and esteemed professor in the engineering college, entrusted with the role of chairman at the Life Foundation, and humbly served as the managing director of Visual Humanity United International Royal Council. And if you want to get in touch with her, this is her phone number and also her Gmail mail address. So at this moment, let's welcome Professor Dr. VJE Caroline. You are welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Queen Sister, my beloved sister. I'm so delighted after a long time I'm joining this organization. I regret every time whenever I don't feel connected because of certain tight schedule. I couldn't make the time to meet you all. But this time I felt, no, I have to make the time. I have to facilitate myself and I have to join SUCAN International Academy, SUCAN International Organization, the prestigious organization on this prestigious platform, to be with all the global leaders and especially my beloved sister, Queen Sister Elizabeth Lucas. It's a great privilege to be here and it's a great honor to speak on the topic, especially as a counseling psychologist. The topic is really touched my heart as I've been dealing with these substance abuse, drug addicted people, especially in the slums. So this topic is relevant to me, I feel. That's why I've chosen this topic. So as I have already been introduced by my beloved Queen Sister, so I'm Dr. Caroline from India. Namaste once again to all the global leaders. So here, how to bring awareness and eradicate drug addict, drug abuse and misuse of substance among the youth. Yes, especially we have to focus on the youth. So before taking up how to bring awareness, I would like to focus what is the substance? What are these drugs? I'm not naming up all the names of the, I'm not naming up the substances and drugs. All of you know very well what they are, especially some are prescribed by the doctors. When they use it more, that will be an addiction. And some, you know, the drugs, which definitely affects the health of the people. When they use it, it is going to affect their brain and their body. So the mental health and physical health will be mainly affected by these drugs. So substances or drugs has to be kept far away from the youth especially. Because we all know that youth are the pillars of every nation. Every nation will be strong enough with the presence of the youth. If youth gets spoiled because of these bad habits and addicted to drugs and substance, definitely it is going to affect the particular nation. And its impact will be high, not only to the nation, to the state, to the society, mainly to the family. It's very, very important. So these we have to address. This very important topic where we have to deal with, especially I feel that all the global leaders, apart from the psychologist and the psychiatrist and the counselors, I feel it is the importance of every individual as it is affecting the family. The parent role should be high, the educator's role should be high, philanthropist's role should be high, social workers' role should be high, and the global leader's role should be too high because we can influence the society, we can influence the people. As I said, if one is affected very badly with substance abuse or drug abuse, it is going to affect the entire family. There will not be any kind of peace in the family. The parents will be devastating state. As parents are not with peace, it is going to affect the entire family, the siblings, and the old people who are existing in the family will be vulnerable. So it is very important to tackle with the topic that we shouldn't. 1 second, please. అలాగనే మేము కాన్ఫరెన్స్ ఉన్న తర్వాత చేయొచ్చు. చెప్పండి. ఏసీఎస్ ల్యాబ్ 8th మండే నేను వెళ్తున్నాను శ్రీ ఇందుకు.
Okay, sorry about this. It's because she's multitask. She's in the office and at the same time she's talking to us. And I think we appreciate that time of your patient. Thank you so
I'm
much.
extremely sorry. It is
It's
from the
okay.
examination branch where I need to answer
Address.
immediately. As we are focusing on the external lab exams, the date has to be scheduled.
Okay.
So I'm
Thank
sorry
you.
for the
It's okay.
inconvenience.
That's fine.
So as I said, it is going to affect the total family. So it is very important subject. First of all, I would like to find out the root cause why the youth, the young children are getting much attracted to these drugs or substances. What must be the reason? The first will be maybe because of the peer group, because of the bad company of their friends. Second, environment. Environment also plays vital role. In which environment they're existing? What kind of society they're existing? So it is also very important. And I say the role of parents is also high. Because unknowingly, parents sometimes ignore their children. Sometimes some kind of partiality will be existing in the family. The parents will be taking care of boys much and girls neglected. But still girls are so protected and they have some kind of fears in the mind. They will not be addicted quickly to the drugs. There are certain girls also who are getting addicted. Most of the population, if you observe, in all the countries, even India is a great, majority of the youth are affected by these drugs. And we are seeing in engineering colleges, schools, colleges, we find many cases that most of the children are getting addicted to the substance or to the drugs. That in the engineering colleges, I feel because of the peer pressure, peer group. But if you look at the house, so as I said, girls only suppose 50% are affected badly in the family because of the ill treatment of the parents, that because you're a girl child that neglected, they will be in a depression state, but they will not be attracted to substance or drugs. But boys, immediately they will be affected. They move to the drugs to have the pleasure. They feel that, oh, by taking drug, I will become out of this tension. The stress and strain levels are high on youth especially. Whereas various factors, so especially parents do not show any differences in the family. Treat equally all the children, whether boys or girls, even boys, the parents will declare, I love my elder son much. He's so responsible. I don't like this boy. He's so negligent. So if you use such kind of statements in the family, that will be high on their minds. That will be impacting their mental condition, and slowly they will be moving away from the family, and they would like to find some happiness somewhere. They find that happiness only in drugs. Some will say, oh, you can have the fun. We all know that when we are in happiness, dopamine hormone will be released. It gives some kind of happiness, pleasure. So the same kind of dopamine will be released when they take. So they find little happiness for a certain period. But if they continuously taking up the same drug in a larger sum, that is going to affect their mental condition. That will be turning into addiction, a drug addiction, totally. And that will be turned as a disorder. It will turn into a disorder. If child turns up into a drug addicted to disorder state, it's very difficult to reverse the conditions. So it's very, very important. I feel that as a counselor, I always give guidance to the parents. Please focus on your children. Let us speak about the schools and colleges role, but I emphasize much on the parents. As we all know, parents are the first teachers of every child. So parenting is very important. How best you are taking care of your children, how best you are treating your children, that is very important. You have to focus, you have to look at your children, what are they doing. If you find any child sitting alone, isolated from the family members, you have to address it immediately. You cannot say is dull, maybe some ill feeling is having, okay, tomorrow will be all right. No, do not neglect that incident. Look at what has uh, made the child to move away or get isolated from the family members. What is the reason behind? Find out immediately, mother especially. Find out the reason and try your best to solve the problem. If you do not address the issue, a simple issue, if you neglect it, it turns into a worst condition. Later on, the same child who was isolated 1 day, 2 days, at last will become a great burden to you, to the society, to the nation. So it is very important. We want our children to be physically, mentally healthy. That is very, very important. Physically, mentally sound. So I feel that focus on your children and their condition. How are they leading their life? Are they happy? Are they in sorrow? Are they in gloomy condition? Find out what must be the reason. I don't say that to find the problems of our children, we need not to study psychology. It is not essential to be a psychiatrist, to be a counselor. Every parent is a good counselor. We are good counselors. We have to find out the root cause. As a counselor, if the patient or the client come to me, I cannot use the word patient. My clients come to me when they express, the parents say some information, they carry some information to me. I can understand. And through sessions, 1, 2, 3 sessions, I can understand the problem in depth and I can solve it. But mother and father, if they find out the root cause that minute, that day itself, you can totally stop the substance abuse situations in your house. The unhappiness you can find the root cause and throw it away, and you can have a great happiness in the family. This is very, very important. And if you come to the school level, college level, I say that school teachers should know how to tackle children. They have to, class teachers, mentors, they have to understand the conditions of their students, how they are behaving, where are they moving, where are they going, why they absconded one class, what must be the reason, with whom they are roaming, find out their friends. We all know very well, if you tell the name of your friend, I can tell about you. It's that is a simple statement we know. From olden days, from our forefathers, we are hearing this statement. They know very well because they are good counselors, good psychologists. So we need to understand with whom they are moving. Find out the root cause. Why they are in the bad group, bad company. What must be the reason? So schools need to emphasize. Every class teacher, mentors have to focus and understand the condition of the child. Then if you go to university, college and university, they also we need to understand. So it is very important that we need to focus on youth. As I said, youth are only the great pillars of every nation. Always we have to focus. I emphasize as a counselor that mother, father, kindly look at your children. That is only so we can eradicate the issue. Later on, we can go for various therapies if the child fall prey to the substance abuse and drug abuse. There are different therapies are there. And if we cannot solve the problem with therapies like CBT, cognitive behavior therapy, Okay, there are aromatherapies. Many therapies are there. If the child did not respond to therapies, then we have to take the child to the psychiatrist. The last level is psychiatrist. So in India, I don't know about the other foreign countries, they have a great awareness. But India, know that the majority of the people are not educated. And taking the child to the psychologist, they feel a great stigma. What the society think? If I take a child to the psychologist, they say that he has some mental problem. He's pagal. That means he's a mentally ill fellow. And the parents are so scared to take the child to the counselor. So this awareness should be, awareness program should be taken to be conducted by the government, by the organizations, by international forums. It is very important that bring awareness in the minds of the parents. Schools, colleges, universities, they know what to do. But I always focus on the parents. I said parents only can treat the problem. So it is very, very important. Okay, taking the child to the psychologist is not a stigma or something unconditioned, something which affects or gives a bad impact on the family. Because I hear, oh, can you take our son to a psychologist? I say, you bring the child to me. No, ma'am, if I get the child to you, he will have a bad remark that is mentally ill, is a mental ill person. He may not get, good alliance. There's a big issue of his career growth. Getting the person to the psychologist is not going to affect the career. We will be transforming them. We will be counseling them. We will be guiding them. So this awareness is very important. First of all, we should know what are the different types of drugs available in the market. How, if any person is ill, what kind of medicines prescribed by the doctor? Are they okay? Are they using only the prescribed time period? Are they using even after that? We know that elder people do not get sleep and we take some sleeping pills. Children will be observing. So be cautious, be careful. Simple tips. There is no need of having a great education to understand these situations or issues. This is a burning issue, I can understand. But if we tackle at the beginning, at the root, we can eradicate. It's not a big issue. We can make it very small by drawing a line. That line is nothing but focusing mainly on the child by the parents. Very important. Okay, we have to focus from morning to evening what the child is doing. So this is the awareness. I feel that awareness program to be conducted mainly to the parents. In the schools, there will be all our educated teachers. You may not know, but there are also some training sessions required for teachers how to look at the child. We find mentor system in the schools and colleges in India. So mentors feel that making a call when the child absent. Mentor doesn't mean that. Even in engineering college, we do have mentor system. I get laugh that only when child absent, we make a call while the child is absent. We find out from parents and we ask the parents, do you know the child absent? Actually, mentor meant to counsel the child or to understand the root problem, why the child absent, where is he going? So we have to take the child, counsel, and we transform him or transform the girl. This is very important. So mentoring system is there in every institution, but what does it mean? They're not implementing it correctly. That's why we find many drug cases in the schools and colleges. When we look at some videos, we'll be surprised. Just 6th class, 7th class, 8th class, 9th class, 10th class children are taking drugs. They go somewhere. They know where the place is. These drugs will be available. And it's a great shock. Sometimes in the school itself, at the backyard, they take some drugs. Where the schools and the colleges are going on? Where are they moving? What is happening? Educated institutions, how these cases are taking up? Because we are not tackling the root cause. We are not focusing at the ground level. We talk a lot. We find so many cases in America. We find so many cases in India. We find so many cases in other countries. Yes, there will be so many cases. Why this unrest? Why children are unrest? Why children are depressed? Why children are falling prey to the drugs and substance? What is happening? Okay, this is important. What is the reason behind their depression? What is the reason behind taking up the substance or drugs? What must be the reason? What must be the cause? Find out the reason, find out the cause. The root cause is very important. You need to address the root cause. That is very, very important, my dear global leaders. Okay, so we need to be educated, especially mother, I feel. We need to understand. We are a born psychologists, we are born counselors. We need to counsel. Next level is teachers, lecturers, professors. But parents are very important. So, as you all know that I'm conducting study centers in slums. Why I'm taking? Because there is a connection with our topic, with my study centers. What must be the reason of conducting study centers? I established one study center as a pilot project, and I find out, is there any change? What is the reason of conducting study centers? Just once or twice I visited the slum center, and I was shocked looking at the slum. Of course, slum itself, we all know, in a devastating state, very filthy environment. We all know, but the circumstances which made me to think, to realize, to set up the study centers. Very young children, girls and boys are so beautiful, but they're falling prey to these drug addicted or substance abused people. In their condition, they do not know what are they doing. Just this ruining the life of the children. So 2 to 3 girls, they were raped, brutally killed by the substance abused fellows. They doesn't know what are they doing in the substance condition, because their brain will be in a very different mood. They will have a great mood swings. In what? Why are they doing? When questioned, they cannot even answer. Do you have any against of that girl? Why girl said anything? Is she enemy? Why such a negative act? No, they cannot even answer. That child will be very beautiful, innocent. The person who committed that heinous crime cannot even explain the reason behind of that brutal act. So with this, we can understand the great impact of the substance abuse or the taking of the drugs. So after seeing these cases, the parents are so scared to get the incidents to the social media. So many of the people do not know. As I visited, I have noticed the case. I've seen the girl children in a very brutally, they were killed brutally, and they're in a very horrible conditions. And parents, they sorrow, they're crying, they're weeping. Oh, it affected me a lot. Then as a counselor, I started thinking a lot. What should I do? What can I do for these people? Then I felt that education can bring all-round development. Only through education, I can bring some transformation in the minds of the people. So I set up the study center. Then you can ask me, what about the substance abuse, drug addicted people? See, now when they are completely in a bad state, when I have tried my best level to get them to me for counseling, they didn't turn up. Many times I conducted counseling sessions there. Only women and girls attended and grandparents attended, but the people did not. So there are certain centers where we have to take those addicted people to be deactivated. Detoxification, that is called. So certain therapies are there. There are certain hospitals where can they treat well. But here, what I felt, I cannot take such people and they're not turning up. It's a very big time to think. So I felt, okay, as I'm focused on the younger generation, as they're the future citizens of the nation. If one person spoiled, total society will be affected. So I felt that these young birds to be protected. That is the main motto. Now I can say very happily, after setting up the study centers, there is no rape cases at all. I felt that young boys' environment, the impact of the environment will be very high. So they are in the midst of the environment where there were filthy environment where people are, many of the male are substance abuse, drug addicted people. They take alcohol, they take different drugs. I've seen those people who are in a very horrible condition. I felt that I cannot counsel them because I'm not psychiatrists are required. So I felt okay, I leave them because they're not turning up my counseling sessions. Let me focus. So the boys who are in the filthy environment, when they look at these drug addicted or alcoholic people, they feel like, okay, let me take. There is no problem. Mommy is not saying, our elders are not scolding them. They feel that, okay, this is fine. I too can be addicted. I too can be used to this. See, environment plays vital role. Without their knowledge, they will be attracted to the bad habits. Then I thought that boys to be educated, what is good, what is bad, how they have to live their life, how they need to focus on their career. I started counseling. And if you come to my study centers, you can see my children, very beautiful, good, lovely faces, happy, cheerful. And if we start counseling, they start telling us what is good, what is bad, what we should not do, what we can do, how we can improve our standards. And again, very happily, proudly, I can say my children are growing up. So that is required. So I started counseling. Father, do not turn up. So mother, I took hold of the mothers and I conduct so many counseling sessions. Now mothers are educating the girl children and boy children and taking care of the children. There are no such cases now. Girls who are the victims of this rape, victims of this substance abuse people, and they were raped and brutally killed. I want girls to be protected. I started educating the boys to protect the girl children. So the boys' responsibility to take the girls to their home safely, leave them, and come back. Inform teacher the so and so girls reach the home. So girls, I started teaching the boys to protect the girls. I started teaching girls to protect themselves from the bad touch. And they know what is good touch, what is bad touch. If any alcoholic fellow touches the girl, she can move away and she's bold enough to say no to certain things. So we need to teach children to protect themselves. Life skills are very, very important. We need to teach them how to protect. So I felt that such kind of education, that is study centers or schools, where we need to focus at the root level. I always tell to my teachers, if you find any child gloomy, call me immediately. I will come that evening after my college. I speak to the child why he's gloomy. I go to the study centers. I go to the slum. I talk to the child. Are you not happy today? I came to know from teachers you are crying. You are in a gloomy face, in a gloomy state with a gloomy face. And they tell the reason. I try my best level. I call mother. I speak to them and speak to mother and see that the problem will be solved. So root cause, we have to find out the root cause. What is the reason for their isolation? What is the reason for their unhappiness? What must be the reason of their trauma or stress or strain? Where are they feeling the stress? We have to address it and solve the problem. There are young birds, they cannot solve certain problems by themselves. Assistance of the parents are very, very important. Good parents always focus on their children, how busy they are. How busy? 24 hours they must be busy. I too say I'm very busy, busy, busy. At the same time, I do certain time for my daughter and son. If I don't answer also, my son says, you say to all that you need to focus on children. When I'm saying something, you're not listening to me. Then immediately I throw my books or laptop, whatever it is. I say, come on, I listen to you. How much time you take, Nana? You tell me. Parents need to listen to their children. Always children try their best level to express their emotions, their problems. They want to tell to their parents, especially to the mother. If father say I'm busy, at least mother need to pay attention. Mother need to focus how busy she was. So if we listen, we understand the issue or problem. Then find out from there, you think why the child is troubled, what is happening in his life. We can solve the problem. So this is very, very important. Addressing the issues are very important. Tackling the problems are very important. I'm not taking up the subject, what kind of drugs are there. I'm not taking about the therapies today. I don't want to focus because if you Google it, we get all the information. I'm not focusing on the Google information. I'm taking up only through the experience as a counselor, what are the cases I dealt as a mother, what I felt as a faculty, what I observed, because I worked previously in the government sector, AP social welfare residential institutions, and their socially economically backward people, their vulnerable conditions, and they used to tell 110 stories, their impact of the parents and how they were and how it affected their lives. All through these cases only I'm telling now, then I felt that parents are the main counselors to focus on children, their behavior, find out the root cause, try to solve it at your level. If you're unable to solve, counselors are there, psychologists are there. We are here to support the people and we counsel and see that it will not turn up into a addiction state or it can be turned up into a disorder state which has to be treated by psychiatrist. Okay, because a substance is going to affect the brain as well the physical body. Mentally, physically, they will be ill because they do not focus on their health. They do not focus on their attire. They do not focus on their future. Then being a parent, can we happy when our child is not focusing on his personal health and hygiene? So it is very important. It how high condition you are when your children are in a not in a healthy state, happy state, definitely it affects your career also. It is very important that we need to focus. And the role of global leaders, if I say, because we're all global leaders, international leaders, the role of us is also very high. I really appreciate Elizabeth Lucas ma'am for conducting such mastermind classes. Always ma'am take up the topics which influence everyone. Especially ma'am is focusing on youth. Youth need to be transformed. Transformation should be in the minds of the youth. We need youth power. Any country to be flourished, any country to grow, any country to be strong, youth is very much required. If youth is in a fallen state, if youth is not happy, if youth is mentally, physically not strong, what can they contribute to the growth of the society or contribute to the growth of the nation? How a nation can be strong? So mastermind classes are very, very important. Really, I appreciate, ma'am. Thank you very much for conducting such leadership conferences and master classes where you're focusing on the youth. I feel happy looking at SUCAN International Academy. So I'm sure that every country youth will be transformed by these master classes.
Amen.
We all know No one is not with less knowledge. We are all knowledgeable. We know how to, we are understanding the situations. Only thing is implementation. Will be falling back. The drawback is at the implementation. We need to implement what the knowledge we acquired, that has to be implemented. We need to share the knowledge. So such platforms will help us to share the knowledge, our wisdom. And we can grow together and support the youth into lead a prosperous life, especially mentally, physically strong. If they are physically weak, they cannot contribute. If they're mentally weak, they cannot contribute the growth of this society. So one should be physically and mentally strong. So I'm not taking much time because I need to attend my college wants some work. But here, anything, any question, and I'm ready to answer. So sometime I can take 10 minutes. I can spare here. Ma'am has given me 40 minutes, but maybe I'm not taking that much time.
That's okay. That's okay. Thank you so much, Professor Dr. VJE Caroline from India, a powerful woman of God as well, and is also a psychologist, a counselor, a leader, a director, and also a change maker. Thank you so much, ma'am. We really appreciate this, an eye-opener. I mean, I've jotted some things down, which I personally as well, as a youth leader, I'll be working on. As a parent as well, as a mother, I will also be working on some few points that you've given us. And even as a mentor, as a youth, as a coach and leader, I will also be taking some points on so that we can implement it. I like it when you say you are not sharing from it's not about theory. If we want to talk about theory, we can be here a whole day. This is not a classroom for that, but this is the awareness. Let's talk to heart, and that is what you've done, so that we can understand it better. When we understand things better, then we can take actions. That means to tell you that we still have a lot to do as teachers, as parents, as leaders, and we need to really take action as quick and as soon as possible, because this drug addict, this drug abuse is really damaging the lives of our children, the lives, the family, and also damaging the nation, the community, the society, because whatever happens to a child happens to the whole world. And that is why we need to keep sharing it, keep enlightening us, and seeing ways we can campaign more about it and also speak about it more in schools. That makes me to want to, because since you are one of our educationists or academicians, that will make me to want to ask this question. How is it possible for us to add it to our curriculum? Or maybe once in a week, we can arrange a talk, like people like me or people like you, to come and address, to bring more awareness in school, at least every week, like we're doing the devotion, morning devotion and other things in school. How can we really implement this in school, ma'am?
The thing is, as you need good counselors in your group. Okay. Here we go to school and we train during any free time. I go to school. Okay. Nearby to my house. I train the teachers. I train the children. So in this way, by conducting training sessions as first to the teachers, then you can take counseling session for the students. You need to take some schools and colleges under your organization, and you have to go. So any global leaders who's near to your organization or to your home, if you find any schools and colleges, take up voluntarily the training sessions for teachers and counseling for students. So even for, if the teachers required, you can go for counseling. So I say again, psychology is not required. to know when we know the facts and the truths of the lives, and we know how can we bring up a good child as a parents, we know how we brought up our children. The same can be implemented in the schools and colleges. Same rule. There is no need of great knowledge, going through the books, finding out from the book. That is not required. Personal experience plays vital role. So I say that whichever the schools nearby to you or colleges, contribute yourself being the global leader.
Wow, that is
We
amazing.
collaborated, ma'am.
Yes, yes, yes. We can collaborate on that one. And at the same time, like I always say something, even in the areas of health, that prevention is better than cure. Yes, there are a lot of people that are already involved in that, and they can seek for help. There'll be a lot of helps for them. That's where psychologist comes in. But when it comes to, we still have children growing every day, and we need to quickly act fast on how can we prevent this to happen. And that is where we parents as well need to involve. We want to work in hand with the teachers and the stakeholders so that we can work in hand to bring this message across for people to really understand it. Because if we don't do it now, the future is at stake, because this thing is
Yes.
increasing and it's disturbing them, affecting their lives, affecting the society, affecting everything. I mean, like I always say, it also depends on how do we encourage them to do more, because that is why we need to empower them more. Because if we empower them, and they are focusing on that, and they enjoy what they're doing, either studying or something like that, and they enjoy what they're doing, they enjoy the atmosphere, then they will not think of involving in drugs. They will not think of that. And then, like you said as well, love is very important. The love of parents for the children is also very important. We need to be sharing love. So let them know that we love them, we care for them, and let them know that we can listen to them. We can listen to them, because sometimes if we don't listen to these children, they will go out there looking for somebody else that will listen to them. Unfortunately, they can fall into the hands of the wrong people, because there are so many dangerous people out there. So if we don't protect our children, they will fall in the hands of this danger zone. So which is also very important. And also, so it's a collaboration of teachers, students, parents, government, stakeholders, NGOs. So we all need to work together to get this thing done. And for those people
Yeah, I
that
would
have
like
already,
to quote one point, Queen.
yeah,
A
yes, ma'am,
parent-teacher meeting will be there in the schools and colleges.
yes,
Majority of the parents, because of busy, they don't attend the meetings. I
mm,
feel that attending the parent-teacher meeting also important. And
very
some
important,
schools and colleges, for namesake, they conduct.
mm,
I say not like that.
mm,
They have to tell not only the academic career, their personal behavior in the class. The
mhm,
teachers need to observe that. And
mhm,
if they say to the parent also will understand, not only the some will act in the school will be different and the home will be different.
mm,
So when parents attend the meeting, when they go to the college and observe the things there in the college and talk to the teachers, then they will come to the real behavior of the child. Then they can identify the problem and it can be solved. That is also another important point I would like to
very important,
emphasize
very,
on.
very, very important, very important. Because I remember when my younger ones are growing up, I mean, I was really involved in the activities in school, despite the fact that I was really busy as well. And at least I even became the parents' school governor. So, which is good, because
Mm.
you will have a say, and you'll be able to listen to what they have, and then you'll be able to pass the message on to other parents. So that is also
Yes,
another way. If that kind of facilities is available in all schools, where they will have school governors, they will have intermediary between the parents and the teachers, and even the parents, the
yes,
teachers, and the students. That will also
students.
help us all, because most of the things as well that makes these younger ones to involve in it is because they're being neglected, and their voice is not
Yes.
being heard, and there's something going on within them that they wanted to express it, but they don't know where or when. to express it or how to express it. So there are a lot of things that we need to work on. So I want to say thank you so much, Dr. Professor Dr. Caroline, for spending time with us today. Quickly, Dr. Samina, do you have anything to say? Mr. Rotimi, Papa, thank you and welcome, because very soon we're going to be listening to Reverend Professor Apabio. So if you have anything to say quickly, can we share it, because Professor Dr. VJE Caroline is about to leave us for another conference. Okay, sir. Papa, you want to say something?
With what she has said, I really thank God for one word, that is collaboration.
Yes.
We realize that we who are in the academic field, if you don't pass through the federal government or the authorities in education, you cannot influence the students.
Yes.
So when there is a situation that the government is not interested, I would suggest, added to what she has said, an action team to be made by the people who are doing it, to go to the principals or the leaders of these schools and do internal work. There was a time I was actually very happy about the state I came from in Nigeria, when all the judges were Christians. They enacted a law of which you must pray before you start any law case, which means it is the leadership that matter. In the academic world, we realize when the what they call minister or the education officer is not interested in what is going on, because today is secularism, and because they're looking at what of today, not for tomorrow, then we can walk through the principals or the leaders of the school and see what we can do, and we collaborate well, because you can't jump into a school without at least having the foundation. At the local perspective, it might be we pass through a local committee or local, even the village. We pass through the head of the village. You can organize and tell the principal, the headmaster, this is what we want. So I really thank God for her and what she has contributed and told us. I want to say, my dear, you are blessed and you will still continue to be blessed. Go on. It is well.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Dr. Samina, are you with us? Do you want to say something quickly, because our professor is about to leave us? Dr. Samina Evelyn is also a mother from Pakistan. Yes.
Yes, ma'am, I am ready.
Okay, no, before you start your own, because we're going to call on Reverend Professor before you make your own presentation, ma'am, because Professor is going to leave us around 12 o'clock. So please, okay. But Professor Dr. VJE, one of our matron as well from India, just presented to us very important topic. I don't know if you were here and you listened to what he's been saying. Were you able to grab some things from what she said, or you were a bit busy? Okay. I think you were just fully preparing for your own
for what she's going to deliver.
Yeah, which is okay. Which is okay. I mean, she is grammar, so you can't really, put too much for. You can't overwhelm them too much. So I really appreciate that. Dr. Rotimi Christopher, do you have anything to say? Dr. Rotimi Christopher? Okay, if that is the case, I believe that we've really learned a lot within a short period, and we want to, on behalf of Yes You Can International and Yes You Can International Academy, we want to say thank you, ma'am, Professor Dr. VJE Caroline from India. We appreciate you, ma'am. We also still want to share with us before the end of this month, if you have another spare time, another topic. So, but for today, we say thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm leaving because I have some agenda.
Yes, you are free to leave.
Much.
You are free to leave.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, now we need to move on to our next week. But before then, may I quickly just share this information?
Relationships, they're the foundation of our lives. But let's face it, they can be tough. Conflict arises, emotions boil over, and maintaining a healthy connection becomes a challenge. But what if we told you there's a book that can change it all?